So employability or soft skills are the building blocks of an individual career. The media frequently run stories on how these skills are lacking in school leavers, graduates, or those already in employment. Organizations spend a lot of time and money training staff, not in job specific area, but in general and basic soft skills. As outlined in the World Economic Forum latest future job report, which is published in 2020, half of all employees around the world need to reskilling by 2025. And that number doesn't include all the people who are currently not in employment. And if we don't act now, this skill gap will only widen. A very warm welcome to the show. This is EI Cafe with Azeem season 4. And I am your host, mazeemsaheer, a human capital specialist, a Lego Serious Play facilitator, ICF certified coach, and emotional intelligence practitioner. Here we are again for another interesting episode, a 30 minutes of valuable learning. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something really interesting and important for each and every one of us. You heard the introduction. The topic is what soft skills should go on resume or the CV. To discuss this, today I am going to travel to Middle East and all the way to Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So let me introduce my guest today. He is a holistic life, career, and executive coach, professional certified coach from International Coaching Federation USA, and coach educator based out of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He has more than 22 years of experience of working in leadership roles in various multinational companies and renowned organizations. He is a co-founder of the Mind Parts and the Bright Vision Coaching, specialized in helping leaders evolve, which is really amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome Dr. Salim Hakeem, co-founder Bright Vision Coaching. Dr. Salim, welcome to the cafe.
Thank you, Azeem, for having me in this show. I'm really delighted to connect with the El Cafe audience.
Fantastic. So, Dr. Salim, first and foremost, my heartfelt gratitude and thank you very much for spending your valuable time in the cafe to inspire people to live a meaningful life and pursue their passion and the topic. You know about it. And it has been a lot of stress coming onto this particular point of soft skills, or what are the skills which future is looking forward for. And as I said, World Economic Forum is highlighting the importance of reskilling for existing almost 50% of the existing employees need to reskill because the corporate is going to be tougher and tougher in terms of competition. So with that line, Dr. Salim, my first question for you is, it might be simple, but it's really important. The difference between the soft skill and the hard skill. What is your thought on this?
That's a good start. Some may confuse between softer skills and harder skills. So let's correct the information. Well, harder skills are the skills that provide you with a technical knowledge, like courses in accounting, supply chain, procurement, or even a product knowledge like ERP solution or Internet of Things, or even certifications like CIPD, PMP, CMA, and so forth. So these are the hardest skills. Now, what are the softer skills then? They are interpersonal development courses, communication, presentation, negotiation, goal setting, innovative thinking, problem solving, and so forth.
Yeah, there you go. So you did touch an important element, communication, right? Most of the organization, as I mentioned in the introduction, they spend a lot of money on the soft skill element. They spend a lot of element, communication, interpersonal skills, public speaking. The reason being, human element is involved in the organization. They are the heart of the organization, and those basics are not there, it's very difficult to organization to perform. In that context, what would be a thought how an organization should look people in terms of when they're interviewing people to the organization? They, of course, the culture values matters a lot, but in terms of skills, how do they match these skills?
Very good. It's a very interesting question. Let us look at the facts. Now, you have made a brief introduction. If you allow me, I'll dive into some numbers, people who love numbers and facts. The National Soft Skills Association posted on their homepage. So if you click their page, on their homepage, there is a clear-cut, wide open research conducted by Harvard University and Stanford Research Center that concluded that 85% of job success comes from having well-developed softer skills and people skills. And therefore, the balance 15% of job success come from technical skills and knowledge. Now, I could spend 20 years in being a professional accountant or a chartered accountant, but that holds me successful on the technical side of the job. Whereas we are managing people, we are managing internal and external customers. And therefore, it is extremely important to master that. Allow me just to refer to another very important fact. LinkedIn in 2018 Emerging Jobs Report confirmed that communication skills and time management were among the top needed skills. While we all are caught up with hard skills, this acknowledges how important it is to invest in interpersonal soft skills.
Absolutely. I think the soft skill, the word soft is really soft, right, Dr. Salim? Because that element, people really ignore this element. Now, here's my perspective when talk about soft skill. Actually, it should not be done in a corporate level. That's my perspective. It should be starting from a school system, university system, or any of the education system. I think
absolutely,
yeah, most of the countries need to look into developing this soft, because the early stage of our lives, how our brain development works, if you really feed that at that particular moment, by the time you are ready to go to the corporate, you're ready to go. Then it's just 100%. About absorbing. So that's why I asked this question, how important to develop these skills. And at the same time, is it the organization's responsibility to develop these skills? What do you think?
Well, very interesting question. I think here the responsibility, there is a partial responsibility on the corporates, but it's mainly a individual responsibility. Now, why? Why is it an individual responsibility? I'm on a verge of improving myself. I'm looking at a career 10, 20, 30 years from now. And if I stuck in an organization where there are, for several reasons, economical reasons, budgetary reasons, market challenges, they don't have a budget to invest what I need, then does it mean that I surrender myself to the current situation? I need to cope up with the challenge. So asking that an important question, I think it's a dual responsibility, not corporate only, but it's an individual as well. Yes.
Absolutely. I think each one of us has to take this responsibility also, because as I mentioned, that the world is running very faster, change is being constant and rapid change is happening, especially with COVID coming into picture, new skills like virtual meetings, getting, connecting in a virtual element, even in a personal branding aspect, how we handle the social media. I think that also will come no soon as a part of a soft skill element, because an employee, when you put like I'm working from here, that means you're brand ambassador of that particular organization. So that also comes very soon. I'm sure it will be part of soft skills. And my next question here is directly for you, right? Sure. I have seen your whole bio. It has been a really interesting element. So far in your journey, what skills you have been, what are the skills your core strength has been to come up to this level?
That's a quite confronting question, but I'll do my best to answer that. Okay, I have this might interest you because I have different views on this. I have served both as a talent acquisition specialist and as a candidate applying for a job. Now, let me tell you what skills a talent acquisition specialist would search in an applicant's bio. We would look for experience, achievement that establishes the ground of how good the candidate is in soft skill. So if the applicant in his bio is referring to problem that he has solved, a target that he has achieved, a team he has led, a senior role where he contributed in its achievement, and that's how we get an idea. An expert, for example, or a mid-career would refer to their core competencies on the beginning of their bio, whereas a fresh graduate would support their bio by mentioning what are interpersonal skills or contribution they have taken. So now let's flip the coin. I, as a person who wants to apply for a job or wants to seek for a job, I know the mentality of a talent acquisition person. I would make sure that in my bio, all these informations are reflected.
So you're given some golden nuggets for our listeners, especially the young listeners who, when you're applying for a job or an opportunity, what they look for. It's really interesting, Dr. Salim. I know when you take 20 years back an advertisement, a job advertisement, and now on LinkedIn, a job advertisement, you will always see this communication part, interpersonal skill part coming in. It never changes. It never changes. This is my observation because a couple of weeks back I did a program for one of the SIMA forum, talked about how emotional intelligence, social emotional intelligence, and what the skills look forward for future. So even World Economic Forum states about emotional intelligence, and that is also in a bit of development area where people now look into it. And you talk about communication, it is must for the relationship building. It is must for so when you build that element of social awareness, how do you talk to each and every person based on their personality is a skill I think everybody need to acquire. I think that's one of the skill I think on the CV or the resume you should have. So that's my perspective on that particular element. With that, Dr. Salim, I want to ask, so
sure.
I want to come into a Middle East segment.
Yes.
What has been the diversion or the transformation in terms of skill building when compared to 20 years back and now? And what would be the key ingredients to change?
Sure. Well, Middle East realized 20 years ago that we are now in an era of a globalization with visions being developed and changed over the past few years. With, for example, I speak specifically for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is looking at a 2030 vision with very, very aggressive KPIs that all the departments are pushing up. Everyone is changing. We are really coping up with the change, connecting with the world and building that brand, the brand of a country. Now, the brand of a country is based on its government agencies and on a private sector. So the blend here basically comes to what each individual can bring on the table: innovative ideas, creativity, mastermind, taking this entire journey of transformation into another level. So Saudi Arabia, specifically at this moment, is demanding from individuals, is demanding from groups, is demanding from teams, whether they're governments or privates, what new can you do? And this basically, when you look down at the fundamentals and the basis of what they need to deliver this, it comes back to the interpersonal skills. The innovative idea, as you have correctly said, interacting, relationship management, all this blends together for a new idea to evolve. So yeah, very good.
Absolutely. So we did talk about the skill set. what are the skill set, how we are going to build our skill set. Now, we do have certain skill. What should you do to master those skills? Because see, communication is not, will stop in communication, keep on improving, learn about body language, learn about how do you present, especially public speaking. This is one of the important element, because we all become brand ambassadors for someone someday, some sort of element. How I come speak in front of you becomes who I am and how you recognize me, right? So Dr. Salim, in this context, what would be your advice for our listeners, especially the younger generation? What should we do to master a soft skill?
Okay, that's a very important question. Thank you. I would say the universal principle here: practice. Practice is, beyond any reasonable doubt, is the key element for mastering that softer skill. But let me highlight on a very important information. Training courses, a traditional training courses, or even contemporary training courses, you call it Zoom, you call it online, whatever it is, training courses are good in providing knowledge. But then we need another element to change this knowledge into a competency. And the only way we can connect the dots and we can bridge between a knowledge, shaping that into a competency, is practice. Now, you have asked me, what can I do? Practice comes in so many different ways. Let me share with my personal information. I mentioned earlier communication skills, time management, and leadership are three components highlighted by LinkedIn. Now, for me, as my personal journey, I have practiced this through a medium, through a hub where I had the right environment, I had the right place, the safe learning environment, a family environment to kind of like sharpen my skills. And if I mention on air, it's Toastmasters. Now, thank God it is a non-profit organization. Otherwise, someone would say you are promoting a brand. But yeah, Toastmaster has worked for me so well. And I surely believe, practice is needed. Find yourself a medium where you can actually practice in a moderate, away from criticism, with a supportive model to go ahead and try your soft skills, blend and boldly. Remember, practice more and master more.
Absolutely, Dr. Salim. I really like the component you brought up, Toastmasters. I think that's a fantastic platform, very structured, where you have different pathways, if I'm not mistaken. I think you're a DTM as well, Dr. Salim, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
And it's a blend between a self-learning model and a leadership roles. And for someone to get the highest award, what I like about Toastmasters as well is their perfect reward and recognition. So you keep the momentum on, you keep motivated. So you have the self-learning tool and you have a place where you can practice this, get recognized. And it's a blend between not only learning. So I'm not only a good student where I, master the book and try a few projects. No, I have to take up leadership roles as well. So that correctly you have said, it's a blend.
I think that there's another way of looking at this also. I think most of the even Sri Lankan context, there are organizations adopting Toastmasters Club into their organization to develop their people's skills, especially as like communication, public speaking, leadership. I think that's also another way organization can look into, as is a non-profit 100%. Organization. Toastmasters is a non-profit organization, to absorb in such system. And then you don't need to spend a lot of time. And of course, you and me will not have business on that particular line in terms of communication. But organization can cherish, because they do have a structured way of getting things done. I think this should be an amazing 100%. If organization can really look into it. Telling from this end of the world, where Sri Lankan context, there are many organizations. Most of the organizations have a club now inside, so they're grooming their people, right? Some organization pay 50% and the employee pay 50% to make sure that they have that accountability. Otherwise, just the money will just go on the drain. So I think that's a fantastic model, I think, to get into mastering the element. I think from junior level to become a DTM or, I
100%.
believe there are various levels, Dr. Salim. So I think
100%.
that's an approach I think many organizations can take. Yes.
Sure. Allow me just to add to what you have mentioned correctly. There was an article in Forbes in 2017 where it mentioned that Fortune 500 companies, majority of the Fortune 500 companies, have an in-house Toastmasters club. So the first club back in 1970s started in one of the Fortune 500 companies, and they believe that this is a continuous learning process, a learning and adapting competency process. In Saudi Arabia, we have more than 250 corporate clubs. So the companies know the value, companies invest in this. And yes, indeed, why not? It could be an institution for organization to look into, to consider developing their employees' most important soft skills.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing those valuable information. I believe our listeners can really look into these platforms. I'm not talking specifically Toastmaster. There might be other platform we can use to, personally put that effort to, reskill, upskill our level. And those listeners who are like just getting out of the school or universities, make sure that soft skill is one of the component any recruiters like Dr. Salim shared are going to look into it. So with that, Dr. Salim, I wanted to get into a bit of a latter level where now we are in the place of a COVID situation, right? Definitely the connections, the social interactions has been really different. People has become more virtual. In this context, even the World Economic Forum has showcased certain element of red light. We need to really adapt to different level. In this context, what skills do you think post-COVID workplace is looking for?
Wow, this is $1 million question, Nazeem. Pandemic has been rough on all of us, as you have just mentioned. Working environment has changed so much and evolved. And therefore, the first and most important skill we need to demonstrate is adaptability and resilience. As you have correctly mentioned, things have been changed. I no longer can have an office, with a coffee machine next to me. I may end up doing all my work from home. So what is the adaptability? What is the resilience? How resources are moving around? Communication skills was and will remain the major roots of doing, because channels have changed. Communication channels have changed. Contemporary mediums have evolved and has surfaced. Active listening is part of one of the challenges you do when you have an online meeting. It's very tempting to talk online, right? And let's not forget the collaboration and team player skills. Most critical of all is mastering problem-solving skills, innovation, and strategic planning, because simply resources have changed, tools have evolved, competition has increased, and so many challenges has arisen, while cost remains to be a major business concern. So yes, as you have correctly mentioned, these are the skills that we and I personally need to keep on developing myself, because next time when we appear for an interview or a new career level, those are kind of questions that will gonna pop up and say, what have you done? How did you manage during the pandemic? How did you brought your business, rescued it, or brought it to a different level?
Absolutely. I think adaptability is one of the key element, because when you log on to it, how good you are in changing. That's one of the biggest question I think any of the entrepreneur will ask based on the scenario, because world is changing so fast. The systems are changing so fast. So how quickly we are adapting. For example, 1.5 years ago, we never thought about wearing a mask on the roads. Now, when we get out of the road, get out of the house, you feel something missing. Which is it? The mask is missing, the sanitizer is missing. So we are getting adapted, but it's all our mindset